Mastering version control quality works on a visual cheat sheet and a standard reference guide. Git is the coffee, GitHub is the coffee shop. A version control system running locally on its computer. It tracks every edit, saves history, and prevent data loss 24/7. GitHub, a centralized cloud server and a hosting platform where developers push their local repository to share, merge, and collaborate within the team. The four state of version control architecture: working directory, the physical folders on your computer where you write code, create, and modify. The staging area, the intermediate waiting room where you prepare, review, and organize changes before saving them. Local repository, the hidden .git folder, your permanent local database of saved version and history. Remote repository, the cloud server. GitHub, the central hub for team collaboration and code backup. Two path to initialize a tracking environment. Git init local start tells Git to start tracking an existing local folder, creating the hidden database. Git clone URL. Cloud start downloads a complete pre-existing remote repository to your local machine. The watcher Git state, the most critical diagnostic command, shows the real-time summary of untracked, modified, or staged files in your working directory. The staging area is checking the mirror before the party concept. Staging is an intermediate step to verify changes are correct before locking them into permanent history. Git add dot stages changes only in the current directory and its subdirectory. Git add -a or -all stages every single change across the entire project root. Git add asterisk stages all visual changes but specifically ignores deleted files. Committing looks change into permanent local history. ID A1A 1B2C3D pipe author dev ID F4E5D66 author dev ID X7Y8Z9A author ed.dev. The action git commit -m messages takes everything in the staging area and save it as a permanent snapshot in the Git database. Identity check git rejects anonymous commit. You must configure your identity once using git config global user.name and user.email. The ledger, the git log, has as one line displays a clean, compact history of all commits showing their unique IDs and descriptive messages. The file deletion requires Git explicit permission. Manual deletion. Deleting a file in your OS leaves an uncommitted deletion in your working directory. You must run Git add to the stage. Deleting a file in your operating system leaves an uncommitted deletion in your working directory. You must run git add to stage the renewal. The shortcut git remove deletes the file from your hard drive and stages the deletion in one single command. The save disconnect git rm /s cache removes the file from the git tracking but safely leaves the physical file intact on your hard drive. Branching isolates experimental work from the stable code base. Main branch feature 1. Concept branch creates an exact isolated copy of the current code base state. You can safely build and break features here without affecting the main product. Create Git branch name creates the isolated timeline. Navigate Git checkout switches your visual file system to match that specific branch. Uncommitted changes are hidden by Git automatically when switching. Merging pathway and resolving code from a local repository, working repository head and a feature. The Git merge combines the lifeline, the timeline of another branch into your current active branch. The conflict occurs when the exact same line of a file is modified differently in both branches. Git pauses the merge resolution. You must manually open the file, delete Git's conflict markers, choose which code to keep, and run a new commit to finalize the merge. The remote sync matrix push Git push directional local to remove uploads your local commits to the GitHub client. Git fetch remote local memory downloads remote changes into Git's internal memory but does not alter your visual working file. Git pull remote local working directory fetches the remote changes and automatically merges them into your active files. Full is equal to fetch plus merge. The diagnostic metric for undoing mistake: uncommitted remotely post, low risk uncommitted git restore. Reverse local uncommitted changes back to the exact state of the last commit. Discard messy experiment in the working directory. Medium risk locally committed git reset head. Remove the last commit from history and move the code back to the working directory used for fixing local mistake before pushing. Save for collaboration. Git revert creates a brand new commit that mathematically cancels out a previous one. Safely fixes bugs on a shared remote branches without rewriting public history. Stashing act as a temporary cell for unified working directory. The stash the problem: you need to switch branches urgently but Git blocks you because you have half finished uncommitted work that would be overwritten. The solution: Git stash hides your changes safely on a temporary clipboard so you can switch branches cleanly. Git stash pop restores changes to your directory and deletes them from the stash list. Git stash apply restores changes but keeps a copy in the stash list for future reuse. Merge, rebase safely combines histories and preserves the exact chronological order but creates extra clutter in a web-like branching line. Plugs your feature commits, update your base to the latest main branch and replace your commits cleanly on top, result in a perfect linear history. The golden rule of rebase: never rebase a public or shared branch. It retries and like commit IDs and will re-break your team since. Git rebase main. The pull request ensure code quality of code. GitHub UI remote developer pushes an open pull base main versus compare feature team review. What it is, a formal request on GitHub to merge your push branch into the main repository mechanism. You select a base branch targeting them and compare branches your update. You cannot edit a team's main code base directly. A PR provides a UI to view differences, commits, and ensure stability before merging. The Git master blueprint, the happy path workflow, remote repository. So you have a pull request, then you go a branch or a feature. Then you have add and a commit locally, then you have a pitch done, then you push to the remote, and then you open a pull request, and then you merge to the main. The core philosophy, Git is actually a time machine, and once the Git is committed, it is almost impossible to truly lose. Commit often, push safely.